Hello friends, today we are talking about my big three. The tent, the pack, and the sleep system that I will be starting the Appalachian Trail with. I'll tell you what I'm carrying, what I like about it, how much it weighs, how much it costs, and anything else I guess I can think of in there. Let's just jump right in and we will start with my tent. I went with a very popular one, the Durston X-Mid 2. I have a two-person tent for a number of reasons. First is that when I do hiking, this isn't the first time I'm using this. I've been using it for at least a year or two now. And my husband and I do some overnight camping together as well. So we need a two-person tent if we're going to stay in the same tent. So I do use the two-person tent for two people. But I decided to stick with this one on my through hike instead of getting a one-person tent for this because I am messy. I'm a little bit disorganized, and by a little bit, probably a lot of it. A one-person tent for me, when I take stuff out of my pack, I tend to just kind of let it go everywhere. I mean, you can probably tell seeing all my stuff all over the place here. I don't put my stuff very nicely in like an organized manner. It's just like an explosion. So I really, really like the extra space of that two-person tent. I have it in just this REI stuff sack. I like the color of it. And again, I'm not really someone who is able to get things packed up in a compact manner. So I believe this did probably come with a stuff sack, but I was probably not able to get it back in the stuff sack correctly. So I just got this larger one to stuff it all in. For the stakes that I used, I think it came with some stakes, but I wanted some that were just a little bit heftier, a little more heavy duty. So we picked up these MSR groundhog stakes, and I think I typically carry 8 of them. I just have them in a little hilltop packs. Little stake pack there. I don't know if it's actually meant for stakes or not. I don't remember. All I know is I thought it would be perfect and I ordered it. Everything kind of fits nicely. I don't do anything special. I kind of just shove everything down in here and then I put these right in the middle there. It is a double-walled tent, which is very nice, so it keeps a lot of condensation off the inside of the tent. It's not that difficult to set up. It took me a minute to kind of figure it out. It was really difficult for me at first, but I'm also not the most technically minded person. And sometimes it takes me a little while to figure something out, and I'm sure I will still stumble a little bit at the beginning of the hike setting this up. But in addition to the ground sheet, there are two pieces to it. I keep them clipped together. So instead of each time separating it and then putting them together, I just kind of keep it together and put the stakes in, and then I take my trekking poles and just push it up. And I don't know if trekking poles count as part of your tent system. I think we just ordered these off of Amazon. I got the Cascade Mountain Tech cork handled trekking poles. They've been fantastic. I've been using them for a couple years on all of the hikes I go on, and I've not had a problem with it at all. They are, I don't know if they might be considered like a cheap trekking pole compared to other trekking poles, but so far on several hundred miles, probably at this point, maybe 1,000 miles or so on these trekking poles, they've done just fine. They're not slowing down yet. With this tent, I really like that there is a vestibule on both sides. So if there are two people staying in the tent, like my husband and I are staying in the tent at the same time, we can take our shoes off. If we wanted to leave our packs outside and give us a little bit more space, we can do that each on our own side. And there's plenty of space for us to put all of our stuff in on either side. To be honest, if something happened to this tent and I had to get another one, I would probably go with it again. I don't know that I would choose another tent unless I got a free one or something. Would probably be the only reason I'd go with a different tent. I happen to love this one. Next up is my sleep system. I guess starting from the top down, I went with the Zenbivy Core Quilt. Now, I started off, when I started backpacking, I am a side sleeper, and a mummy bag was just kind of, I knew that would be a problem for me, but I didn't know if I wanted to go with a quilt. And I started out with the Nemo Disco 30, I believe, and it had a good bit more room. I could get on my side and sleep on my side in it well. I liked it, sort of. What I couldn't do, and some of you who are side sleepers, I don't know if it's a hypermobility thing, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I don't just sleep on my side. I have to have, like, you know, the splat pose where your one knee is up and it's kind of like the the chalk line death pose. That's the kind of the position that I sleep in, and I can't get my leg kind of kicked up and hooked up onto the side like that in that sleeping bag. So there is more room, but I had never been able, I don't think I slept more than 5 minutes when I had that sleeping bag, because I couldn't sleep in that position. I couldn't get comfortable. So I decided to try out quilts, and the Zenbivy just seemed like the best option for me. I used it on a 100-mile hike this summer on the North Country Trail, and it was fantastic on the nights that I used it. It's comfortable, and I like the color options. I think it's pretty. On the bottom, it's not totally, this one is not totally open. The foot, it has like a foot box here, so if you wanted to kind of use it as a sleeping bag, you could do that. It keeps the heat in there a little bit. The one I got, I was torn on whether I wanted to do down or synthetic. And at first I was leaning toward down. I am a fan of down. My concern, and the reason I chose synthetic instead, was that first, the price difference was, I think the price difference was pretty significant, if I remember correctly. I might be remembering that wrong. That's not ultimately why I chose it. That was just kind of a plus. Down doesn't dry that quickly. And I was concerned that if my quilt got wet and I had a down quilt, that it would stay wet. It wouldn't dry fast enough. It might get moldy. I'm not going to be able to sleep in a damp quilt. So I thought synthetic will dry out a little bit easier, and ultimately that's why I chose it. With this sleep system, you can choose to have, I believe you can choose to just have the quilt, but you can also have a sheet. So you're not just sleeping directly on top of your sleeping pad. You have something underneath you as well. And I did choose to go with that as well. I chose the uninsulated sheet, the core sheet. I keep it actually just kind of hooked right on top of my sleeping pad. It just makes for an easier setup for me. So it's right here. It's very comfortable. It's nice and smooth and soft. Also with the sheet, there are these hooks. So I can take these little hooks here and attach them to places on the quilt. The really nice thing, if you're using a quilt, sometimes you lose heat going off, like out the sides. So if you were to roll over or something, like heat could be lost, and it's not staying, your body heat is not staying inside and keeping you warm under there. With this ground sheet and the clips in it, it kind of keeps everything cozy inside, and you don't lose a lot of that heat. See, I told you guys, I'm trying to find the other pieces under here for my sleep system to show you, and like I've just got all this stuff piled up. I told you, I'm very messy and disorganized. The other thing that I added to this is a silk travel sheet, which I use as a liner. It's supposed to add around 9 degrees of warmth. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't notice a difference when I used it in warmth. I don't know if that was an accurate representation for me or not. Maybe it does help and add a little bit. I really like it first when it's really hot out and I don't want to use this quilt. I might be like, the quilt might just be a little bit too hot if it's very, very warm out. I need something on top of me. I'm not someone who can just kind of sleep without something covering me, so I think this is a really nice option for that. The other reason I really like this is that it helps to keep my quilt and the sheet a little more clean. hikers get very dirty. We get very sweaty. Our clothes go a long time without washing between. This just helps to keep everything, all of the dirt and filth inside of this and a little bit less inside of the quilt. I know that it's not a perfect system. I know that this quilt and the sheet are still going to get pretty filthy, but you know, just a little bit less filthy. The sleeping pad that I chose to go with is the Big Agnes SL Rapide SL. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. I've seen mixed reviews on this sleeping pad, and I think it is fantastic. I don't know if I'm trying to remember if I had another sleeping pad before this or if this is the one I chose to begin with, but I know it's a little bit heavier than other sleeping pads, but for me, the comfort in sleeping, I am not a good sleeper. I'm a very, very light sleeper. I'm a very poor sleeper. So this sleep system, even though it's a little bit heavier, it's, I think, imperative for me. I would rather carry an extra pound or two and get sleep at night than to be carrying 2 less pounds or something like that. And I don't even know if I could get this down 2 pounds, but even let's say I could, 2 pounds less, but I'm hiking on no sleep, like it's just not gonna happen. I will give up the ultra light status to be able to sleep comfortably. The other part of sleeping comfortably is using a pillow. At first I thought, why would I need a pillow? I can just prop something up underneath of me. I can put my sweatshirt, I can, you know, I tried many different things and felt I really didn't need a pillow, and again, I did not sleep at all. So since then, I think, I don't know what pillow I had before, but I now have this Trekology pillow, and it has a little strap on the back if I wanted to strap it around. I don't usually. I usually just use it like this. And I did not choose this for any specific reason. The reason I'm using this is because I stole it from a friend. A friend of ours, we went camping with them and their children, and he wasn't using it anymore, or at least he wasn't using it that night, and he gave it to me to try out, and I never gave it back to him. So if you're watching this right now and you want your pillow back, you're gonna have to speak up before I leave, or else you're not getting it back till next year. I like this pillow just fine. I don't have any problems with it. No complaints so far. I don't have much to compare it to. I haven't used too many other pillows that I am recalling, but so far this one has been just fine. The other part of my sleep system, I don't know if it counts or not, is the pump bag. I don't know what this is called, but it is what my sleeping pad came with. And originally I was like, I don't want to use this. I want one of those electronic pumps that you just kind of, you know, you plug in and pump up. And I did have one. It was the FlexTail Tiny Pump 2X. It worked the first 2 times that I used it, I think, either once or twice. And then after that, the pump stopped working. The light, it has a light on it, which was a great feature. That never stopped working. But the pump, I ended up having to return it to REI, and which actually, you know, everybody always talks about what an easy process returning things to REI is. And I'm a big fan of REI. We have a membership. I buy stuff from them all the time, but the return process for that, or the refund process for that, was not easy. Not as smooth or as easy as I expected. They did ultimately end up accepting the return and refunding me, but I wasn't impressed by it. After comparing the amount of time and effort it took to blow this thing up, I decided to not try with another electronic pump and to just go with the manual pump bag. It doesn't take that much longer. It's not very much effort. I don't have to add any weight. I don't have another thing that I have to charge. So I thought, I think this will be just the better option for me. And then I, instead of getting another stuff sack or compression bag or whatever for my sleeping pad, I just use this. I don't know if that's a thing I should be doing or not doing, but it's what I've chosen. What do I store all of this stuff and carry all of this stuff in? That would be the REI Flash 55. I love this pack. First of all, I really like the color. I am not a red, orange, or yellow girl. I don't like those colors that much, but a mustard, give me a good mustard color any day. I love it. This pack I have been carrying for a couple years now. On every hike that I've gone on, even day hikes, I just end up taking this pack. It's extremely comfortable. It fits well. I got it for a very good price. When I look at other packs and compare them, I don't know. I can't imagine that there is one I will like better. I went with the extra small with the medium hip belt. And since carrying this, I have been a very large range of sizes. Even currently, I am at the largest and heaviest I have ever been before. I'm about 80 pounds heavier than when I first bought this pack, and it's still, the hip belt fits just fine around my hips. It's still very comfortable. I have no complaints about the fit of this at this point in my life. I really like these hip belt pockets here where they fit. They're very easy to access things. This hip belt here, this is where I keep my favorite and most important piece of equipment that I carry always, and that is my pee style. So I have to tell you, as a woman, I have never felt so powerful than when I am standing and peeing with this thing. When I have to pee right now, and if I don't go, I'm gonna pee my pants. So this thing is imperative, and I need to be able to get to it very quickly. If I have to take this off and dig through and find it, it's gonna be a problem for me and anybody who has to be around me and has to smell me peeing my pants. So we're keeping it right here. Snacks stay in this one, and hopefully we don't mix the two up. I like the water bottle holders here. I usually just the smart water bottles, just like everybody else. I carry them. They're easy to access, pull in and out, no problems. There's additional pockets on both sides, front pocket. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. There's also tons of places to hang different things here. I've got bandanas. My Garmin can hang right off the front. There is plenty of space inside. I like, you know, they all have the roll top, and just like everybody else, I put my little bag inside to, even though it's probably water resistant, I still keep the bag inside just in case. Yeah, so far I've been able to get just about everything inside of here. And then it also has the brain to go on top. I haven't decided if I want to use this or not. Sometimes I take it with me, sometimes I don't. Part of me feels like, okay, well, there's extra space in here, and it keeps the top of the pack covered and gives it a little bit extra security or safety from moisture and anything else that might fall inside possibly. But then I kind of also feel like it just adds extra weight. And I mean, it's not much, but still, with all the other weight I'm carrying on here, yeah, every little ounce counts. You may be asking yourself, how much do these items weigh? Well, let me tell you, I looked it up and wrote it down. Empty, this Flash 55 with the brain on is 2 pounds, 11 ounces, which seems like, I don't know, it seems like a lot. When I hear anything that weighs more than 2 pounds, it seems to me like, oh, that's really heavy when you start adding up. But the way that it fits and the way that everything sits, that 2 pounds is like, it takes all the weight away. So I'm not concerned. The actual quilt is 2 pounds, 6 ounces, and then the core sheet is 7 ounces. My silk liner is 5.6 ounces, and the Trekology pillow is 3.8 ounces. The Big Agnes sleeping pad is 1 pound, 7 ounces, and I just weighed the pump sack. That is 1.7 ounces, I think, or 1.9. I think it was 1.7. The tent is 31 ounces, so 1 pound 15 ounces, I think. The ground sheet is 5.1 ounces, and then I also counted the groundhog steaks, and all total that was 5.2 ounces. Adding that all up together, the weight for just my big three is a little over 10 pounds. I believe it was like 10, I'll show you. I entered all of it into lighter pack, so I'll show you what all of that looks like. I know that that's a little bit heavy for base weight. It's not considered ultra light. Even though I want to keep my pack as light as possible, those extra ounces are going to keep me comfortable and keep me sleeping, and I think that is much more important to my overall well-being and the likelihood of whether I finish this through hike or not. A lot of this equipment I purchased a couple years ago, so at the time I thought it was pretty expensive, but even a couple years later it's probably even more expensive than that. As I mentioned before, the pillow I got for free, so that was an expense I didn't have to make. The Flash 55 I got on a pretty good sale. It was just about $140, and I think it was $60 off. I don't know why I saved $60 on it, but it was $60 off. The Zenvivi sleep system, the quilt, and the core sheet, I paid $226.60, including tax for that. And then the Cocoon silk liner, that was $99.95. My tent with the ground sheet was $331, and then the ground stakes were $40. I actually didn't add all of that up, so if one of you wants to do that and do the math, you feel free. Just like everyone else, I have over-researched and I overthought every single purchase that I made, other than that pillow. And I feel like I have made the best choices for myself. I've used these on multiple hikes already. I really like what I have so far, but it is subject to change. Who knows? Once I'm out there for weeks or months and something fails, or maybe there's something that I notice is a problem that I didn't notice before on some of these shorter hikes, I'm not sure. Those of you who have recorded and put your previous through hikes on YouTube, and those of you who are my classmates that are going to be hiking in 2026, I've probably watched all of your gear videos as well, because everybody likes a good gear video. If you have any questions about any of this gear, why I chose it, what I think about any of it, or you have anything to add, anything you'd like to let me know about any of this equipment, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. It's still pretty snowy here, so it still doesn't quite feel real, like I'm gonna be leaving here soon, but I'm getting more and more excited as time goes by. I think I'm gonna try and get this stuff packed back up in here, and I'll see you guys next week with another video. Bye.